Hello, Adalberta. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Matthew here with freeprescriptionlenses.com. I hope I'm pronouncing that right too. And with the help of my GoPro camera, I'm going to show you how this is your first pair of glasses. You are getting a Mercedes-Benz on your 16th birthday. Your first pair of glasses is the Versace 1163B in the color 1333, which is the plum in the 52 eye size. Let's take everything out of the box that how Versace sends it to me, and of course you're going to get all the manufacturer's original packaging, your Italian leather Versace case, your Versace cleaning cloth, hopefully you can see the logo in there, your card of authenticity where you can register with Versace if you want to, and of course this is what you're waiting to see, the Versace 1163 bling pow. Bling pow. Of course it comes with a little plastic sleeve on the left temple to protect the temples from rubbing together during shipping from Italy, and I'm going to include this when I ship to you, so you get all the manufacturer's original packaging, one of which says Versace on the lenses, the demo lenses. Now you ladies out there, anybody who wants some bling, let me bring this to life. Woo, look at that. Versace gonna bring it. You know they will. You know they will. But yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful frame in the plum color, darker purple on the temple with a lighter plum metal going around the front. Let's go ahead and take out your original demo lenses, and again, you're going to get all the manufacturer's original packaging. And I'm going to take your frame, I'm going to put it into the tracing element of my edger, hit the green start button, and this little stylus is going to pop up and it's going to go around and trace the shape of the right lens before moving over and tracing the shape of the left. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed in quality. You buy a genuine, authentic Versace frame and you'll receive one pair of free single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. If you have vision insurance or flex dollars and you want a banging pair of glasses, my receipt has my federal ID tax number, so you will be reimbursed from this purchase whether you need prescription lenses or not, because this is a prescription grade ophthalmic lens. Now in just a moment your shape is going to pop up onto the computer. That green diagram, you see that? That is going to be the shape of your lens. I just have it magnified while I'm working on it. I'm going to take these out of here. Let's just set that down there for now. Running out of room here. Now your pupillary distance is 59, which is 29.5 for each eye. It starts at 32.5. I'm going to hit this little minus button until we have 29.5 for your right eye. Now let's go down here and get your lenses prepped. Your right eye is -1 1/4, -50 at 20, -1 1/4, -50. Let's go ahead and mark this one. That's -1 1/4, -50. This is your right lens. Your left eye reads -150, -1/4 at 80, -150, -1/4 at 80. Let me underline that or highlight it so you can see that. And of course this is your left lens, and these are the packets that you will be receiving, so you can verify that these are the authentic Essilor brand Transition 7 lenses. So let's go ahead and take your right lens out of the packet. I'm going to put make sure this is zeroed out. I'm going to put the axis wheel on 20 for your right eye, and I'll explain what that does in just a moment. Take your lens out of the protective sleeve. Take your lens out. I'm going to put the power drum on -1 1/4. Put your lens in, rotate it until the sphere power comes in clearly, the -1 1/4. Find the optical center of your lens. Check your astigmatism correction. That looks good. I'm going to put 3 dots on your lenses, which are a little too light for you to see. Where'd my red pen go? Did I put it back? Let's go ahead and darken those. 1, 2, and 3. And this is your right lens. Let's do the same thing now for your left lens. -150, -1/4 at 80. Spin the axis wheel to 80. Hopefully you can see that through the little magnified lens back there. Take your left lens out of the protective sleeve. Put it in, let's see, we're going to put it on -150, the power drum. Rotate your lens until the sphere power comes in clearly. Find the optical center of the lens, which is the geometric center of the lens. Check your astigmatism correction, for which you only have 1 step, but it's still there. And let's go ahead and darken these. 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to put an L on here, which stands for not right. Which is just like me, because I ain't right either, so there's a good thing about not being right. So let's go ahead and put your right lens on the platform. And the reason why I put those dots on there, because of your astigmatism correction, they have to be lined up just a certain way for you to see your best. So this graph is going to tell me that. Although this is a block, I like to call it Jenny from the block. I need to attach this to your lens while it is cutting. This is what's going to hold it in place in the machine. So I need to apply a double-sided adhesive sticker, of which I've got a couple up here hanging. The black side is the sticky side. I'm going to put that onto one block. Let's do it on the other block. Actually, the little hole goes downward. If you notice, there's a little silver button on the back. That is a magnet, and it's going to do its job twice. The first one, well, let me pull the paper off to make this side sticky. You can see these are by 3M, and I'm going to put the magnet, and it's going to hold it in place there in the arm. I'm going to get your lens lined up in there perfectly. This blue cross is the geometric center of your frame. If you were to measure vertically and then horizontally, the exact center of your frame would be right there where that blue cross is. Your eye is just inset from there. That is going to sit directly in front of your pupil, and these other two dots tell me that it's lined up on that orange graph, so it's lined up just perfectly. I'm going to hit this button. The arm's going to come down and place the block onto your right lens. Let's do the same thing now for your left lens. Let's go ahead and pull the paper away to get that lined up. Put the magnet in where it holds it in place. Get those dots lined up there just perfectly. And it already mirrors your right eye, so we have 29.5 for your pupillary distance. Hit the button, the block comes down and is applied to your left lens now. So the actual cutting wheel, by the way, this is the edger, costs $40,000, weighs 200 pounds. I recommend everyone go out and buy at least one of these, possibly even two. Put them on your kitchen counter, then you can cut your own lenses at home. You won't need me anymore. But the actual cutting wheel is over here on the far right. It has that white residue on there from cutting lenses all day. This is the grinding wheel that's going to grind your lens down to its final size. This wheel in the center, that little channel, that valley, that's what's going to put the V-shaped bevel on your lens, so it stays inside the bevel of your frame and will never come out. So let's go ahead and take the right lens. Now it's going to do, that magnet's going to do its second job. It's going to hold it in place in the chuck, or as I like to call it, the Charles, because I don't know the machine well enough to call it chuck. But I'm going to wake up the computer. That is the shape of your lens with the block on there. The PC stands for polycarbonate, which is your lens material. I do not want to polish your lenses. I do not want to put a bevel on the front surface, only the rear surface. And that little green arrow is start in any language. The first thing that happens is that door closes, the clamp shuts, and then your lens is going to move up, and it's going to be traced by two white styluses. They're going to make sure the lens is large enough to fit into the frame. And it is, and it's actually going to measure the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly and precisely where to place the bevel on the lens, so your lens will fit best inside the frame for the best and most premium cosmetic fit. Now the cutting wheel is moving into place. If you notice, water has begun spraying in the back of the edger. That's only to collect the optical sawdust from cutting. Polycarbonate lenses cut dry, where plastic and high index cut wet. In just a moment, your lens will begin to touch down onto the cutting wheel. So your lenses are made out of polycarbonate. These are Essilor brand lenses. See if I can do this with the stylus attached. This would be cool. So Essilor calls polycarbonate airwear because they feel it's light as air. These are the Transition 7, Signature 7 series. GY stands for gray lenses. And Essilor is the premium lens manufacturer out there. They're the ones who came up with the Transition lenses, so you're going to get the name brand product, the high quality. There are no knockoff brands available that I will ever ship from here. Now the AS stands for aspheric. Aspheric simply means not round. So a spherical lens, it's like a basketball. It's round in every direction, gives you that ugly cosmetic fishbowl appearance. Aspheric lens is much flatter, so it's going to fit in today's flatter faced, flatter curvature frames. Now the polycarbonate lens itself is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. It is virtually unbreakable. Your lenses are bulletproof up to 22 caliber and has both UVA and UVB protection built into the lens. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin, where your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin. So you have permanent sunscreen for your eyes that never needs to be reapplied, unlike the lotions, creams, and sprays that need to be reapplied every few hours when you're outside in intense exposure to the sun. So your lens is no longer flat around the edges. It is moved on the bevel wheel, and of course, you see water beginning to spray. It does that for the last 20 seconds of the cutting cycle, just to wash away any optical debris, optical sawdust, if you will, that may be on the lens. And now an arm is going to move into place. At the end of that arm is a little spinning wheel that you would find on a Dremel tool. That is what's going to apply the safety bevel. It is just smoothing out any rough edges that may be left over from the cutting cycle. But it's applying the safety bevel to the concave side of the lens, which is the rear surface that sits closest to your face. Now in just a moment, I will open the door with my mind. Open up, open up, open up, open up. Come on, mind. Okay, let me grab a paper towel to dry your lens off. Let us open that Chuck up. Thank you, Chuck. We're gonna dry your lens off. And you still have a little bit of schwarf, that's that optical sawdust around the edge of your lens. I'm just gonna scrape it off and let it fall to the floor. I do that. My wife hates it. That's right. I'm talking about you, honey. My wife hates it, but I tell people, look, if someone comes over and they see all the dirt on the floor, they think I've been working. So that's how I fool people. The right lens is the right lens. That's on this side. So I'm going to take my little tiny Phillips head screwdriver. I'm going to lefty loosen the screw that is in there. That opens your frame up. I'm going to tuck the lens in at the outside corner, making sure it's tucked into the frame completely. Now I'm going to tighten that screw down, if I can get it lined up. Righty-tighty. Oops, come on, get back in there. There we go. I'm putting your frame down on some moleskin to never affect the finish of the frame against this hard surface. That tightens up perfectly, so we can go ahead and start cutting the left lens. I'm going to flip that over to L, which again, L stands for not right. Hit the green button. Just like before, the door closes, the clamp shuts. And then the lens is going to be traced by the 2 white styluses again. This time it's going to trace the shape of the left side of the frame. You can see as it goes around tracing. And of course, measuring the lens at every point to measure the thickness, to know exactly and precisely where to place the bevel so you have the best cosmetic fit possible. We can see that you have no edge thickness whatsoever on your first pair of glasses. Look at that, yeah. Great cosmetic fit. And of course, you see how flat the front curvature of that lens is. Let's go ahead and take that block off. Go ahead and pull that sticker off. And I'm going to keep that red dot on your lens. I'm going to measure here in just a moment. But as you can see, you have the perfect flat fit, fitting the curvature of the frame. Nothing is exposed. Great first pair of glasses, might I say. Now, I'm going to spin the axis wheel back to 20. With my brand new batteries and the flashlight. Hope you can see the 20 in there. I'm going to put your lens in just above this red dot, back into my dusty Marco 1 lensometer. Can you see the dust that's on top here? I'm going to turn the axis wheel, the spherical wheel, and I'm getting 1 1/4. Your right eye is 1 1/4. The unit of measurement we use in the optical world is called a diopter, and it's spelled D as in David, I-O-P-T-E-R. And starts at 0 and goes up in quarter increments, 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1, 1 1/4, 1/50, and so on up to over 20. So you need 5 steps of correction for your farsightedness. You're wonderful. From here inward, you actually see great. You don't need any glasses whatsoever. You could actually look at a grain of rice and it would be just crystal clear. Now, once you start holding it farther away, it begins blurrier. So you need correction for farsightedness. Without your glasses on, everything is much larger than it really appears. So that's why your glasses minify. There's a minus sign. It is the opposite of magnify. Your lenses will minify 5 steps down to make everything the correct size. Now, once it's the correct size, we need to correct for your astigmatism. And there is a stigma over the word astigmatism. Everyone pay attention here. Astigmatism is not a disease. It is not an affliction. Everyone freaks out when they hear that word. It's no big deal. It just means it's a shape. It's like saying someone has straight hair, someone else has curly hair. That is it. Don't freak out, everybody. Astigmatism is why you squint. It's getting back to shape. When you squint, you change the shape of your eye. Astigmatism is what causes 6s and 8s to look alike, or the letters P and F. So this first number makes everything the correct size. This takes away fuzzy edges. That's why when we correct for the astigmatism, think of it as a fine-tune knob, and we're going to turn that knob to 20. A straight line is 0 to 180. If I were to take my pen, 0 is over here, 90, 180 on this side. We're going to turn that knob to about 20. Now for your left eye, you have, actually let's go ahead and finish measuring your astigmatism correction. Let's go ahead and check for that. We end up with minus 175. That is because, remember high school algebra where you add two like signs together? Yeah, me either. No one remembers high school algebra. But you, in today's terms, if someone had borrowed $1.25 from you and then they borrowed another 50 cents, they would owe you 175. That's where we're at now, 175 in the red, one tick mark away from 2. So your left eye, you actually need 6 steps of astigmatism correction, but you only need 1 step of astigmatism correction, of which we turn that knob to 80. So you're still going to have the same 175 combined value. You get to a different way, 125 and 50, or 150 and 25, but you're still going to end up with a total power of 175 where we're at now. Let me go ahead and take your left lens out. You missed me opening the door with my mind. I can do a lot of stuff with my mind. I can actually melt ice with my mind. I can. It just takes a while, but I can do it. You don't believe me, do you? Buy me a margarita and see what happens to it. It will melt in front of you. All right, maybe it's not my mind. Maybe I use my lips with that one. But other times I can melt ice cubes with my mind. Margaritas, I need to use my lips to make that disappear. So I've opened up the screw. I've turned it over. I'm going to tighten the screw back down. Let me go ahead and take this block off. Let's go ahead and go back down here. We're going to place the red dot in the lensometer. Let's turn the the axis wheel to 80. And I'm getting 150, which is exactly halfway between 1 and 2. We're going to check your astigmatism correction, which you only have 1 step. And again, we're at 175, so 1 tick mark away from 2. So that is made correctly. Your pupillary distance is 59 millimeters. I'll flip the card over and place the 0 against my thumb on your right lens, and when we look at the left lens, we're getting 59 millimeters, so that is made perfectly. And this is the point in every video that I explain while I'm cleaning your lenses, that when you get these in the mail, and of course free shipping anywhere in the United States, but when you get these in the mail, there's a very small chance that these will either fit too loose or too tight. However, there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. That is because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other. And because of that, 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. But I'm going to get these in standard alignment first, also known as a 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I set them on the counter and press down. There is no wobble. When I say wobble, I'm part of that 80%. When I take mine off, they wobble on the counter, but they sit level on me, yo. Flip them over, press down, there is no wobble. I make sure that each temple overlaps perfectly and that they're not askew in any way like that. Check the tension on each spring hinge. That is good. Now this is what your lenses look like while they are clear. Let's go ahead and expose them to a strong burst of ultraviolet light to activate the transitions part of the lens. As you can see, it takes about 30 to 45 seconds for the transition lenses to darken. It takes a little bit longer when you come back inside, about 45 seconds to a minute 15. Now, pay attention, this is important. All transition lenses get dark on day 1. Give them 2 weeks of exposure to the sun, and they're going to continue to darken every day for the first 2 weeks until they get to their final setting. After that, they will work for years with maximum performance. The only time they will not work is if you're behind the windshield in a car. Your windshield absorbs all the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays, so your dashboard doesn't crack from sitting in the sun, and that's why they don't turn dark in a car. Now, if you have a convertible or a motorcycle, they will darken. They're also temperature sensitive, meaning they'll get darker when it's 85 and 90 degrees and below than when it's in triple digits. When it's 100 degrees outside, you're miserable, they're miserable, everyone's miserable when it's 100 degrees. Nobody likes to work 100%. So this is what they look like the first time around. Don't worry, they're going to keep darkening. Come on, remember we talked about that. Now, if anyone has any questions about what I can or can't do, just email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com. Adalberta, I hope you enjoyed watching as I cut prescription lenses for your Versace 1163B. The color is the 1333, which is the plum, and the 52 eye size. Of course, these are Versace, made in Italy. If you have any doubt, look at that bling. Boom, the Swarovski crystals on here. So I hope you're happy with your very first pair of glasses. Like I said, it's like getting a Mercedes, a convertible Mercedes on your 16th birthday. And everyone else has got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.